Hi, my name is Cadence Caranta, and today on Team Perspective 2 News, we have so many interesting stories to show you. I'll introduce you to a high school senior who started her own online teen-run newspaper. Find out why her work has even attracted Chelsea Handler's attention. Let's see what Kyla's been up to.
Thanks, Cadence. I'm Kyla Jackson, and if you love science or art, then you don't want to miss my story on a type of art created with microbiology. It's called agar art, and it's fun for kids, teens, or adults. Then you should check out Jack's story.
Thanks, Kyla. My name is Jack Jankowski. In today's show, I'll be taking you on an in-depth look into what teens are spending money on in 2018. Teen Perspective 2 News starts right now.
Hello, and welcome to Teen Perspective 2 News. I'm Danielle Bishop.
And I'm Morgan Clark. 40 interns, 24-hour breaking news, voices from around the world. One Baltimore teen has them all. And more importantly, she is using them to create change. Teen Perspective's Cadence Caranta introduces us to this teen's important work.
Although she is only a senior in high school, Jessie Anderson is already carving her path through the news industry. She's an entrepreneur, a CEO, a reporter, and an activist. And her influence is spreading to teens across the world. It all started with her desire for a voice. Just 2 years ago, Jessie Anderson was feeling dissatisfied with the news she was reading. The Pikesville senior felt that her perspective was often left out.
Many of the sites that claim that they're, for teens are really written by 30-year-old, like people behind the screen.
She found a way to get her perspective published. The solution? An online media outlet called NYA Today, News for Young Advocates.
NYA Today was born out of this idea that teens should know about the news. We're really trying to write in a way that caters to teens because we don't think anyone can do it better than teens.
Since its founding, NYA Today has grown to include 40 interns and 3 editors, all teens. And these teen perspectives don't just include people who look or think like Jessie.
We have so many teens that are from across the world. We have teens from Morocco, we have teens from Kenya, we have teens from India, from Pakistan, from all over the United States.
They were even able to share the perspective of an 8-year-old girl from Syria.
We got a submission on our website. It was all in Arabic. We decided ultimately to post it anyway because even if she didn't provide us with as much information that we usually like, she had a story to tell.
And Jessie doesn't just want to inform. She also wants to equip teens to create change.
At the end of each article, we have ways in which you can act. So that's a really key piece.
And her team has already organized 3 rallies to provide an outlet for teens to do just that. Her DACA rally attracted even Chelsea Handler's attention.
Chelsea Handler's assistant emails me. It's like, Chelsea Handler's coming to your rally.
Jessie says that although the work may be grueling, she's not stopping.
I'm extremely committed to my company. I'm extremely committed to what NYA Today does and what the purpose that it serves.
Intrigued by Jessie's story? Want to read news that is truly for teens by teens? Check out Jessie's website at nya.com and follow them on Facebook to stay updated on their latest rallies, activities, and projects. For Teen Perspective 2 News, I'm Cadence Caranta.
Talk about happy. When Michael Brown opened the last of his college envelopes, he realized he had gotten into all 20 schools he applied to. Both Michael and his mother were ecstatic that he got full rides to every school, a combination of merit and financial-based scholarships, and grants. Success like Michael's is rare, but not unheard of. Brown has a 4.68 grade point average and an SAT score of 1,540. Michael's mother said that Michael accomplished things she never considered.
College dreams are coming true for a 19-year-old from Washington, D.C. who has a special talent. Listen.
I too sing America. I am the dark brother.
Anthony Anderson has dreams of becoming an opera singer, but when he was unable to pay the cost of his first semesters in school, his dream seemed to be in jeopardy. When he lost his job, he was forced to drop out. That's when a story in the Washington Post told the country about his troubles. A GoFundMe account was set up in his name, and soon he raised $50,000 to pay off his debt and make his college dreams possible once again. Anderson's only dilemma now? Choosing between offers from 3 top-notch music schools.
Dreams of another type are coming true on the streets of Baltimore. Team Perspective's Jessica Carnevale met some local entrepreneurs who are seeking savory success.
Thanks, guys. Baltimore hosted their very own food truck week, and I got a chance to taste it.
Yeah, that's gonna fill you up real nice.
Oh yeah, oh that looks great.
Food trucks from all around Baltimore came together to share their unique dishes. Entrepreneur Vaughn Weitzman shared how he brought Baltimore into his truck.
Well, we stay true to Baltimore. We call the truck Farm to Charm, Charm being Charm City, and we're really trying to bring the locally sourced aspect, farm to table, to Baltimore, the Charm City, so hence the name.
Owners share similar stories. Most of them left their previous jobs to continue their passion for cooking. They also started cooking when they were kids.
It's just a good example of how food truckers in Baltimore share a lot of information. We really have a tight community. It's not about necessarily competing with each other, but kind of building the whole industry together.
There were more than 50 trucks that participated, featuring Mexican, Italian, Greek, and about everything in between.
We wanted a little bit more exposure for the surrounding areas because we go to a lot of places, but just an extra way of bringing attention to our food truck.
How are the crispy Brussels?
How are they? They are amazing.
For more information, check out BaltimoreFoodTruckWeek.com. For Team Perspective 2 News, I'm Jessica Carnevale.
Did you know that caffeine is being added to foods like jelly beans, gum, even waffles? The Food and Drug Administration says that's a problem. The FDA is investigating the safety of caffeine and its effect on adolescents. Some added powders and liquids can contain the same amount of caffeine as 28 cups of coffee. That much of the stimulant can cause serious health issues like erratic heartbeat, seizures, and potentially death. The FDA is on the lookout for dangerous products and plans to take action where needed.
There are over 400 million entrepreneurs around the world. Local teens are among that number. Team Perspective's Connor Wallace takes you to an expo where students are showing off their business skills.
In Randallstown, entrepreneurs come together to sell their items at the Spring Craft Explosion. Randallstown High School hosted an annual event called the Spring Craft Explosion.
Our Spring Craft Explosion is our annual fundraiser for Randallstown High School PTSA. What we have is vendors, a variety of vendors. They come, they rent their booths. They're selling handcrafted items.
Here, 80% of the products are handcrafted by the vendors.
It kind of raises awareness that we have more than just mainstream companies in the area, and that these are up-and-coming people that are trying to get the name out and sell these products.
There are a wide variety of products sold with prices ranging from $10 to $40.
We have woodwork, we have jewelry, we have art, crochet items, and we also have some self-published authors.
The expo is helping entrepreneur in the making, Kayla Holly, the ordinary slime girl.
As you can see, we have lots of different colors and types of slime. We have scented cotton candy slime, spearmint slime, and we also have some with packing peanuts and foam beads in there.
Young entrepreneurs learn the basic skills for owning a successful business.
I learned that you have to keep it very professional and make sure you have a clean, tidy, organized space so that people will come to you.
If you want to be a part of the 400 million entrepreneurs around the world, the Spring Craft Explosion is a great place to be. So keep your ears open for the date of next year's Spring Craft Explosion. For Team Perspective 2 News, I'm Connor Wallace.
Coming up next on Team Perspective 2 News. Imagine missing your senior prom, then 18 years later going with your son. Watch how this son made his mom's prom magical.
And then, do you like science and art, but aren't quite sure how to mix the two together? Agar art is a way to combine these two and make beautiful art.
And later, find out what you and your friends are spending the most money on. This Amazon survey describes the top teen purchases on their site. Welcome back to Teen Perspective 2 News. I'm Morgan Clark.
And I'm Danielle Bishop.
A local teen stands up for herself in front of the Anne Arundel County Board of Education. Danielle, I hear you met this inspiring girl.
Well, Morgan, 13-year-old Lily Davis explains her journey dealing with autism, dyslexia, and more, as well as her fight for fair education.
Sit down. Down. Come on, good girl.
Lily Davis is a 13-year-old girl who deals with different disabilities such as autism and dyslexia. All of her life, she has been fighting for better accommodations in school.
If I have to read out loud during the school day, I feel embarrassed because I either add words or just skip over some words.
On April 4th, Lily testified in front of the Board of Education in Annapolis to call for early screenings for dyslexia.
It was nice because I was able to speak up for the people with dyslexia who couldn't.
Lily's mom, Sarah Davis, has been by her daughter's side throughout her journey.
The opportunity to speak up on behalf of herself and of other children who struggle with similar difficulties has just been very inspiring. She's very young to be doing that, and I'm really amazed at the confidence and the courage that she's displaying.
Every 1 out of 4 kids, or 25%, have dyslexia, and a lot of their conditions go unrecognized. Sarah and Lily both want to make sure that dyslexia gets more attention from educators.
To make sure that they're putting into place the supports, the teacher education, the early screening, so that kids don't end up like her late in the game trying to play catch up.
Even though this family has been through thick and thin, they still keep their heads high.
Don't stop. You are your child's best advocate, and it's our job to be our children's voice and to teach our children how to be their own voice.
Okay, come on.
After testifying before the school board, Lily did not win her case. Her mother says they're not giving up. Sarah Davis will continue to push for a more fair education, not only for themselves, but for other kids as well. If you would like to donate towards Lily and her family, go to gofundme.com/Lily's Fight for Disability Rights.
Teen cancer patients were given an unforgettable prom by the nonprofit Friends of Scott Foundation. The organization started when Scott Delgadillo died from leukemia as a teenager. Hosting a prom for teens with cancer was meant to make them feel like they didn't have to focus on cancer and just have fun. A night of reaching for the stars was the theme as they walked the red carpet Friday night dressed to impress. 18-year-old Nasir took his mother to his senior prom. His mother Fatima wasn't able to attend her prom because she had just given birth to him. She spent her money on an apartment rather than going to prom. But when he asked her, she was honored to attend his prom. Pictures and video of the mother and son duo went viral on social media as their story brought joy to others. The two dressed to impress to appear at the Cardinal O'Hara High School dance just outside of Philadelphia.
Agar art microbial artwork is created by culturing microorganisms in certain patterns, colors, and designs. It is the perfect combination of art and microbiology. An Agar art workshop took place on April 7th at North Haven Street in Highlandtown.
The workshop was sponsored by BUGSS, which stands for Baltimore Underground Space Science. It is a non-profit organization that offers classes, seminars, and lab access. It started in 2012. As Teen Perspective's Kyla Jackson explains, the workshop is open to amateur scientists and those curious about the interconnectedness of art and science.
Agar art is the perfect combination of art and science.
So we're using microbes that you can't see, right?
Sarah Lawn, the lab manager of bugs, she says the art comes to life inside of a petri dish.
They're invisible, and what's going on is you have a tube of clear or colorless, well, it's kind of yellowish, liquid, right? And they're going to produce colors like this. They're going to end up producing colors, but it takes a few days.
You start your agar art by making a drawing of what you want to see in the petri dish.
When then people come in, it's not this type of color. So what they're doing is they're tracing a design on their paper, and they'll come into the lab and actually take the small invisible bacteria or yeast and paint along the design that they drew. And then they can end up putting this in the incubator.
Anybody can enjoy this event, no matter the age or background, and no prior experience is needed. Kim Aquino came all the way from New York to try something new.
So it's actually a funny story because I'm actually visiting out of town. And my friend and I, we were looking up literally online things to do around the area. And it was one of the first things I saw on Google. And I saw, the description, and I was really intrigued by it. And so I asked my friend, hey, do you want to go to this cool sounding event? And he said, yeah, sure, why not? And so we hopped in a car and drove here, and now we're making art.
You don't need a science or art background to get involved.
But putting them together is really incredible because people that are interested in art don't feel as scared of science, and people that are interested in science don't feel as scared of art.
The American Society of Microbiology also holds an annual contest to choose the best agar art. Winners get Amazon gift cards up to $200 in value.
Coming up on Team Perspective 2 News, are you leaving the safety of your home and making the transition to college this fall? Then stick around to learn how you can stay safe on your college campus.
Later, do you prefer to wear the iconic Nike swoosh or Under Armour sleek UA logo? Teens across the country took a survey to find out what sporting brands is the best. Stay tuned to see which one came out on top. Welcome back to Team Perspective 2 News. I'm Danielle Bishop.
And I'm Morgan Clark. School shootings and issues of school safety have dominated newscasts. Now Maryland is making important changes to keep us all safer in school. The recent state legislative sessions ended with the passing of the Safe to Learn Act. The act requires students and parents to be trained in recognizing signs of relationship abuse. Maryland's strides forward towards greater schools and student well-being don't end there. Legislators passed a bill permitting students to apply sunscreen at school without a doctor's note. They permitted a 5-day extension of the school year, and they made it easier to report suspected child abuse by requiring the phone number to file a problem be posted in an easy-to-reach area.
19 years ago this month, 2 shooters walked through Columbine High School in Colorado, killing 13 people. On the anniversary of the massacre, students at Catonsville High School joined students from around the country to remember this tragedy. The school walkout sent a powerful message about school safety and gun violence. Just 10 days before this anniversary, students at Miami Northwestern Senior High School in Florida staged a walkout. They wanted action after 2 of their classmates were shot. Miami Northwestern students were upset the event did not capture national attention.
Less than an hour away, students in Parkland, Florida are still suffering from the aftermath of the deadly shooting last February. Stoneman Douglas High School is issuing clear backpacks to students so no one can conceal a weapon. However, some students feel the packs don't allow for personal privacy. School Superintendent Robert Runis assured the students that this was a temporary safety measure.
College can be a scary new beginning for anyone, but feeling vulnerable on campus can lead to even more discomfort. Discover these tips on how you can practice the best safety habits. Team Perspective 2 News' Brita Miller has expert tips on how to make sure you stay safe and sound.
This fall, many of us will be leaving the comfort of home and onto student-packed college campuses. It is important to recognize the dangers present and what we can do to avoid them. With me today is retired police officer and head of security at Roland Park Country School, Michael Brooks. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. All right, what is some of the best advice you can give college students in regards to campus safety?
Well, probably the first thing that is most important is they get to know the area that they are going to be frequently the most. And you like to look at it in an overview. When they get to campus, get to know where they're going to be, where their dorms are, where their individual classrooms are, where the student union is going to be, and go there and travel there before you have to go there, and travel during the day, maybe with some friends. Once you get inside there, then you can start doing a little bit smaller things like looking where the entrances are and the exits and the fire alarm systems and things like that. So you want to start off big and look at the whole campus and then move into the smaller places where you're going to be frequenting most. Take a friend with you. Always have somebody that's accountable for you.
What is the safest way to get around campus?
Probably the safest way to get around campus is through the campus security. They usually have shuttles and they have pre-planned routes that they use. Get to know where they are and the times that each stop is. But however, a lot of campuses, a lot of colleges, if you just go to a phone or you call them, they will come pick you up.
Right. When making a plan for the night to stay safe, what should be considered?
During the evening, it creates a little bit different hazards. Obviously, you can't see as well. The visibility is not as good. But stay in the evening on dorms. Make sure you know where your dorm rooms are, know where the elevators and how they operate. What you're trying to do is you're trying to deny any isolated areas, or at least manage these isolated areas. In elevators, you want to make sure you know where the panels are. When you walk in, everybody kind of goes to the back of the elevator and everybody stands towards the back of the elevator. Stand by the buttons, because those buttons are the ones that control the elevator, and that's how you manage that elevator. Restrooms, make sure you know where the restrooms are. At night, when you're going to the parking garages, there's a lot of times where you'll be walking and you forget where your car is, and you'll press your button to try to locate your car. Try to keep an eye out on where you park so you don't have to do that, because when it beeps, when it goes off, if somebody is in that parking garage looking to do something, they also know where you're heading to. Some other things that you can do is when you go to the ATM machine or you're drawing out money, just grab your money and take it and put it in your pocket. Don't stand there and count it. There's nothing you're going to be able to do if it is wrong.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. Stay safe, everyone, and back to you, Morgan.
Coming up on Team Perspective 2 News, a video game champion loses big. Find out how the Guinness World Record holder for the most points in the Donkey Kong game was stripped of his title.
And ever wonder what brands teens across the country use every day? Find out after the break when Team Perspective returns.
Welcome back to Team Perspective 2 News. I'm Morgan Clark.
And I'm Danielle Bishop.
Billy Mitchell, the king of Donkey Kong, was stripped of his title by the Guinness Book of World Records. He was the first player to earn 1 million points on the arcade game. Last August, video game world trackers disputed the accuracy of Mitchell's scores. The investigation concluded that Billy Mitchell used a newer gaming software, which is against contest rules.
From the shoes on your feet, to the food that you eat, to the shows that you watch, what's popular in your hometown might not be a must-have around the country. So what is everybody wearing, watching, and eating? Team Perspective 2 News reporter Jack Jankowski shows us what brands are leading the way.
Food, beauty, and video games. These are the 3 most important things to teens today, at least according to a survey done by investment bank Piper Jaffray. They surveyed 6,000 U.S. teens to find out what brands and items are most important to today's youth. The 35th edition of Taking Stock with Teens was conducted this spring. The survey looked at the top clothing, streaming services, and restaurants that teens chose in 2018. Nike led the charge in outerwear, as the apparel giant was both the top clothing and the top footwear brand.
What is wrong with my boy?
Netflix claimed the top spot in streaming, as original shows like Stranger Things helped propel them past Hulu, cable TV, and YouTube. This year's survey marked the first time that YouTube overtook cable TV. Food beat out clothing as the top thing teens spent money on this year, with 24% of teens' paycheck going towards grabbing a bite. For the full report and more information about Piper Jaffray's biannual study, please visit piperjaffray.com/teens. For Teen Perspective 2 News, I'm Jack Jankowski.
Well, that's it for this edition of Teen Perspective 2 News. Thanks for watching.
You can watch our final show of the season on May 26th and stream all of our shows online at WMAR2news.com/teenmedia.
See you then.